Hi everyone, to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today we're going to be making Harissa chicken bowls with the Halal cart yellow rice. So easy to make, comes together in under an hour. It's perfect if you want to serve this at a barbecue or a dinner party, or if you're low on time and you want to get food on the table for dinner. This is a perfect recipe because it's easy to make. Let's get started. We're going to begin making the marinade in the bowl. So in the bowl, I'll just add 1/4 cup of olive oil, 3-4 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, a tablespoon of honey, and harissa. I'm going to use this whole little jar. I love this brand because it's never bitter. It has the perfect amount of spice, and I like to buy the mild harissa sauce. You can make your own. I have a recipe on my website if you wanted to make it at home, but always taste as you go because some harissa is a little bit bitter and it's too spicy, so you don't want to make this too spicy. I'm also going to add about 5 garlic cloves that have been grated. Then I'll add the chicken to the bowl. I'm using boneless, skinless chicken tenders here, but you can use boneless, skinless chicken thighs. And I am doubling the recipe. I know you guys hate it when I do that, but when I go over the ingredients, I'll go over them as the recipe calls for. So for 2 pounds, even though I'm using 4 pounds. Season it with salt. For 2 pounds of chicken, I like to add 1 heaping teaspoon of salt. I'll also add 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, a heaping teaspoon of ground coriander, a heaping teaspoon of sweet paprika. I'm not a huge fan of smoked paprika, but if you like it, you can use it instead of that. Mix everything all together so that way the chicken is coated in all of that flavor, and you could set it aside at room temperature while we prepare the rice. So I'm using 2 cups of Carolina rice. You can use basmati rice if you like. You make sure that you rinse it really well and you let it soak in cold water for about 10 to 15 minutes before you use it, and then drain that water out so that way most of the starch is gone. In a pot over here, I'm going to heat up some olive oil and I'll add 2 to 3 grated garlic cloves. Just heat them through until they're warm through and fragrant. Next, I'm going to add the rice, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric powder, and 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. And then I like to cook this in chicken broth, but you can use water instead if you don't have chicken broth, or maybe even vegetable broth too. But the chicken broth adds so much flavor. 2.5 cups of chicken broth are going to go in. Give everything a mix and bring this to a boil. Once the rice comes to a boil, reduce the heat to a low, cover the pot, and let this simmer for about 20 to 25 minutes or until the rice is fully cooked. Fluff everything up and set it aside until you're ready to serve it. I'm also going to make a delicious white sauce that goes with this, and I'm doubling this up too because we love this sauce and we eat it with everything. So you're going to use 1 to 2 garlic cloves that have been grated, 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt, 1/4 cup of really good quality mayonnaise, some freshly cracked black pepper, a tablespoon of white vinegar. I'm using white balsamic because it has more flavor. You can use lemon juice instead. And then I finally chop some fresh dill and I'll add it in here, mix it all up, and the sauce is ready. This keeps fresh in the fridge for about a week and it tastes good in everything, so make extra. So now it's time to cook the chicken. I love to cook this in the air fryer, but this works well over a barbecue grill. You could even cook it over a cast iron skillet on the stove top, but the air fryer is just nice and easy. Doesn't make a mess, and it cooks the chicken perfectly. I'm going to cook the chicken in 2 to 3 batches so that way I don't overcrowd the basket. All the chicken is going to go in and it's going to cook at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes. I'm going to flip the chicken over halfway through, and I'm also going to check it. Once the internal temperature reaches 165 degrees Fahrenheit, the chicken is ready. You can overcook chicken breast, so check the temperature after about 15 minutes of cooking, and if it's reached 165 degrees Fahrenheit, take it out. If you're using boneless, skinless chicken thighs, they take a little bit longer to cook. If you have an instant read thermometer, meat thermometer, it's the perfect time to use it. So that way you don't overcook the chicken. Once the chicken is ready, you can put your bowls together and it's ready to serve. So just like that, the bowls are ready. Now I'm using this yellow rice because we love it. You just saw how easy it is to make. I would even double it because it's really good if you're meal prepping. Stays fresh in the fridge for a few days and warms up in seconds on the stovetop. Same thing with the chicken. It's really easy to reheat. You could either reheat this on the stovetop in a pan altogether, or you can pop the chicken in the air fryer for a couple of minutes so it can warm through. It tastes good cold too. So perfect for meal prep. If you prep during the week, it's a great recipe to have on hand. The sauce too, I cannot tell. We can just put it on everything and eat it. Time for the taste test. There's so much flavor in that marinade. Tastes so good. It's literally permeated through the chicken. You get the smoky, sweet flavors of the roasted peppers that are in the harissa sauce. It's not too spicy. Some harissa sauces tend to be a little bit bitter and overly smoky. So I love this brand. It's the Minna brand, but I'll put it down below so that way you can look for it. It's available in most of the supermarkets near me, usually sold in the international food section. It's the best harissa that I've had other than the homemade recipe that I have online. That one is really good too. I hope you guys give this recipe a try. You can make my green marula salata salad, my green lettuce salad. That it goes so well with this. If you have some pickles, add them to the side, and maybe some spicy sriracha if you want to serve it the way they do in the halal carts. I hope you guys give this recipe a try. I hope you love it. You can get the exact measurements on the website, dimitrasdishes.com. If you have any recipe requests, post them down below. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I'll see you all next time. Yes, us.